Well, here we are again. It feels like we were here just last week. Oh, wait, we were here last week. Welcome to AEC, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. And welcome to Bahrain 2.0. After last week's issue, it's a rerun. We are back for a rerun at the Sakir International Circuit here in Bahrain. Different drivers, surprisingly. Quite a few teams have got different lineups, whether if it's one driver or even the whole lineup itself. But yeah, last week has been declared null and void. We are here again, ready for another night of fun. Yes, voice chat will be suspended, obviously. Evening, Harv. Yes. I hope everyone is as ready as I am for this to go as quickly as possible, and hopefully without any incident this time. Well, Choco's not racing, so you know we can only wait and see. But now we wait. We have the long, long wait. I mean, at least, Harv, that is a good thing. That at least for yourself, that your interesting performance last week is now now doesn't matter. But you just have to hope that your guys can do a better job. Obviously, I think have you gone for a completely different lineup? I mean, I think you have, because wasn't it? It was you and Sam last week, wasn't it? Yeah, I think you're one of two teams, I think, or it might just be yourselves at least, that have gone for a completely different lineup altogether. I suppose that's the good thing. At least you can field a completely different team if you think that they can do a better job. Anyway, qualifying is underway. We have just started. We now see who's going to come out on track first and see what we're going to get. Liam Bowman actually had if we go off last week, I think for his standards, had quite a poor quali. So for his sake, he's hopefully going to do a better job compared to last time, as we do have one of the AlphaTauris for MVR coming out first, and it is going to be Liam Bowman himself, who will probably set the initial banker. So whilst we wait for the Flying Scotsman to go round, you scored 2 points. Is that all? Seriously, is that all? I didn't realise. Is that all you scored? I haven't actually properly looked at the standings, because the results are still typed in based off what happened last week. But oh no, you scored 5, Harv. You scored 5 points. Unless that's a mistype and someone's typed in 5 instead of 2. But anyway, we can like I said, we can ignore last week's results. But what will be interesting to see is what different points people will score compared to last week. So, could NVR get another 1-2? We'll wait and see. Can TTM get a decent result? Can FRT do a lot better than what they did last week? And can Shazoo continue their amazing non-biased recovery that they have been doing since Spain, which was back at round 5? Obviously, we've got 16 minutes of qualifying and 29 laps in the race to find out and see what is going to happen. But Liam Bowman, coming through the penultimate corner, he's now got an AMS driver closing in his back, but isn't going to overtake him. 20 drivers on the grid. NVR doesn't have a qualifying, no run, because of obviously of everything being changed and it being a full rerun. That's if we were going to continue or leave the results as they were, and NVR would have had a double quali ban, but because we're doing a rerun, they don't have it. Anyway, on board with the Flying Scotsman, down into turn 1. Here we go, we get qualifying fully and properly underway. Through turn 1, through turn 2, and up the hill through turn 3 there for Liam Bowman. DRS activated, completely going to the far left-hand side. If he was Fernando Alonso, he would say he was left no space. Into turn 4, missing the curb on the inside line, taking as much as he dares on the outside. A .3 first sector, that's a great start already for the Scotsman. through 6 and 7, now into the hairpin of turn 8, which can really unsettle the car. And Bowman flicks it in, gets the car out rearwards. Yeah, I know everything was fine, Joseph, but I'm guessing you mentioned that to Ron. Through the double left-hander of 9 and 10. Liam, one of the drivers who takes a lot of curb on the exit, completely goes over it. I mean, me personally, I don't trust the car, but that's probably because, you know, why I'm washed and why he's one of the best, if not the best, on Xbox. Through turn 11, up the hill now, through turn 12. Completely going over the curb on the inside line. It's a 5.7 already for Liam as we end the middle sector. Had a little bit of a wobble there on the exit. Almost Choco-esque coming through the penultimate corner. As we now come to, well, actually, the third to last corner, because this technically is 2 corners, but I see it as 1 corner. Into the final corner we go. Liam Bowman rounds the final corner. Opens up the DRS now. What is it going to be? What is the banker? Wow, a 27.3. That is just... yeah. that is different gravy. And even Furious, who, you know, is an amazing driver, 4/10 down on these initial bankers. That lap from Liam was something else. BRT Lou coming to the end of the middle sector, a 6 flat from him, 3/10 down compared to Liam, as Elite Riss, who's subbed in for Ogween compared to last week, goes P4, Justin into P5 for TTM. Liam's teammate Gabor will now come across the line. Where can he go for NVR? And it's currently an NVR 1-2 at the moment. Well, here comes BRT Lou through the final corner, DRS open. Can he displace him? No, he can't, but he goes into the 0.7s, into P4, just ahead of his teammate Kazi. We now have the first of the FGE drivers, and that is Simbarux1. Invalidates his lap and obviously stays where he is. Venom just goes ahead of his teammate, goes into P6 with a 0.8. It's close already from 2nd down to 6th, or even into 5th, but Liam's lap is just, yeah, that is something else. Typical now coming across the line. Where can he go for FRT? The answer is it was an invalidation. Oh, it would have been a 28 flat. At least he'll have a delta. We have now the Alpines coming through the final corner. That is Easton, who I believe did race last week. He comes across the line and sets a 28.3, and what looks to be the last driver to set a lap. No, the Haas is coming to the pits. Agonize has backed out of his lap. We now have a Merc that's coming through with that, albeit Langman returning to the pits. So, to me, nope, Nico is on a lap. I was about to say that everyone is now done and dusted, but no, Nico's just proved me wrong. Comes into the final corner now. Currently in P19. Well, his lap's going to be validated, so he at least go P14, but he goes P13. And just ahead of Kieran there, and joins his teammate, goes right next to him. So initial run's done with, and it is Liam Bowman out on top by nearly 4/10 to his teammate. I mean, to be honest, he could just call that as qualifying. I think he could be. I don't actually see that time being beaten, and he's already a lot quicker than what he was last week. That is an interesting comment there, Stonks. I won't lie. Okay, yep, I have absolutely nothing for that. There isn't anything I can say. Do we really need to go into this again? Come on. Can everyone start? I think you know now, Nathan, that is probably not going to happen. Or at least not from the guys right behind you anyway. But anyway, this is what we've got. This is where we are. This is what we've got to put up with. And this is what, you know, and I have to spend another hour and a half commentating on the same shit. Just with different people. Why do you have to swap places? Do you know what, Axe? Maybe medium soft is a good strat play. Maybe. But also maybe not. Could always go for the intermediates. They'll be just as good. As Patrick comes through the final corner. He's going to be the first person to start his second run. Obviously, did not set a lap time initially. Obviously, either invalidated or made a complete hash of his first lap. But as he comes into turn 1, keeps it... I thought I was going to keep it in fourth gear there, as he completely loses the rear of the car there. Coming in through turn 1, and it's already been a bit of a shaky start here for Patrick as he gets the DRS open now. Up and heading in towards turn 4. Clips the curb a little bit on the apex there. Runs the car out wide. What's that first sector split at 28.9? I mean, that's... Well, if you compare that to Liam, that is 0.6 down already. Just through the first sector alone as he comes down the hill in towards turn 8. Flicks the car in as his teammate there on his right hand side is now climbs back up the hill again into the tricky double left hand of 9 and 10. And to me, it looks like Patrick is just going on a cruise or a bit of a drive and has completely backed out of his lap. And I'm not surprised. So, Paulos was the driver who was right behind him, and he is still going. So, agreed, Axe. Paulos is better than Choco. Facts right there, as he's going to have a couple of cars. Oh, I thought we're going to completely put him off there. The Williams just about getting out of the way eventually, but that might have distracted Paulos on his lap as he comes into the final sector. Misses the apex there on the inside line. Not really getting the run in there is Paulos. Coming down the hill now, though. The AlphaTauri there getting completely out of the way as Paulos completely goes too far over the curb to open up the corner, and that is his lap done and invalidated. And that's 2 drivers now I've gone on board with who have done that. Not so much for Kieran, though, who the Red Bull, well, whichever it was, Venom or Elite, decided just about to get out of the way, but may have given Kieran a little bit of a tow as he comes into the final braking zone. Flicks in third, short shifts into fourth. Decent run there through from Kieran for Team AMS. Where can he go? Can he improve at his point 7? He can. He does a 28 flat and goes into P8 there. Good lap there from Kieran, jumping up 6 places. Elite Race starting his lap. Furious coming through the middle sector. As Liam's also now just coming through the middle sector, trying to find someone who's about to finish their lap. It looks to me that the simple answer to that is nobody, because Langman is invalidated. Justin's not long started. Kieran's obviously finished. So, who is the furthest on their lap? I think the answer is it's Furious, who is marginally down through the first sector compared to his previous best. But let's see if he's got a lot. See if he can find some time through this middle sector now as he climbs up the hill. The answer is he has found some of that back, but he's still a thousandth down off his previous best. So hopefully he can find some more time in this final sector now. Can the TTM driver goes down the hill? Can he at least displace Gabor for P2 provisionally for the time being? Breaks the car in, turns 4th gear, runs out as wide as he can. DRS activated. Where is it going to be for TTM Furious? The answer is he stays 3rd. He marginally improves, but it wasn't enough to get ahead. Liam Bowman now coming across the line to finish his next lap, a 10th and a half down. And the answer is he finds a bit of time in that final sector, but does not improve. Simbox 1 has backed out of his lap. That is Patrick, who's gone for another attempt. Currently 9 seconds up on his 146.6 and goes into P14 with a 28.4. We now have one of the Shazoo drivers coming through the final corner. That is Elite Risk, who is not up on his time either. Can he find some time in the final sector? The answer is yes, he can, but only goes ahead of his teammate. Kazi invalidates. Goes into the pits. We now have TF10, and that is going to be agonized to set his first lap a very solid 154.6. That's him. I'm impressed with that. As a typical jumps into P6, Gabor did improve on his lap time, but stays in P2 and then gets displaced by BRT Lou, who now goes into P2. Still 3/10 off Liam, but he gets at least in between the NVR drivers. Venom now coming across the line. Where can he go? And the answer is he goes just back ahead of his teammate. Shazoo on locking out the 4th row for the time being. 1,000th there behind Typical. So it's very close there towards the sharp end of the grid. Simbarox 1, is he finishing a lap or is he starting a new lap? Well, with a 2 minutes 21, he's starting another lap. Nico coming through the final corner now, a couple of tenths up on his previous best. Needs to find a bit more if he wants to get himself up into the top 10. The answer is he goes into P14, doesn't find any more time. At the moment, the driver I'm really looking at that's going to be a bit disappointed is Justin. And to be fair, both TF10 drivers, Dan down in P15, agonized on his solid 154 and is currently only on a 1 minute 10 as at this point, so that's this lap done with. So TF10 are going to have to pull out all the strings that they can for their final runs if they're going to get up towards the sharp end of the grid. As I think everyone is done for their second runs. And the answer is yes. As Liam comes back into the pits. Less than 5 minutes to go now to the end of qualifying. And it has shaken up a bit. Lou has managed to get in between the NVR drivers. He's got his teammate Kazi in P5, so BRT looking pretty strong at the moment in qualifying, obviously, as our NVR. Shizou looking solid, but not spectacular. Typical. In fact, well, they're in an FRT sandwich there, so half. At the moment, it looked, well, both Langman and Typical are already doing better than what you and Sam did. Yes, Harry, you did see a 0.9 first there from Patrick, I think it was. I think it just shows, Harv, that you do need to retire, maybe. That's maybe a bit too far, but yeah. As already, AMS are already out for their final runs. Both of their drivers out on track. Kieran with a solid P11 at the moment on a 28 flat, but his teammate Party has got it all to do. So let's see what AMS man can do on his final run. He's not going to get, well, for his sake, he's hopefully not going to get any traffic as anyone comes out of the pits, and there is a Mercedes that is leaving the pits, but should not get in his way. We'll ride on board with him as he starts what is his final run, unless he completely messes this up. DRS open there. Down into turn one, into second gear there for Kieran. I don't see many people do that, but he goes into second for that rotation, and he's gone completely wide there, and that's, well, that's all I can say. That's it. That's him done with. That was inspirational. And now we wait for his teammate to finally, yes, Big L there. Maybe I shouldn't ride on board with him next time, as to maybe he can get a valid lap in. But we'll ride him. Well, we'll go on, sort of go on board. We'll follow his teammate this time. AMS Partick, no lap time set. One of three drivers still yet to set a lap time. Can he get one set this time? We'll find out in the next minute and 25 seconds. Down into turn one. Doesn't actually hit 200 miles an hour there, does Partick. Maybe running slightly higher downforce. I mean, I know what I'm running. Obviously, I'm not sharing my wings, so yeah, unlucky. Not that anybody would want one of my setups. DRS open there for Partick. Does not use all of the track there on the left-hand side. Well, his left, our right, as you are watching it, and a 28.599, well, basically a 28.6 first sector there for Partick as he comes down the hill into turn 8. Flicks in second gear to get that rotation, so obviously not too comfortable to leave it in third gear. Yeah, curse of the commentator, I know. I do this all the time, but generally to my own team. So hopefully I don't do it this time. As he goes through the double left of 9 and 10 onto the second DRS strike here for Partick. He's got quite a few cars. Obviously, a lot of people are on their outlets getting ready to start their final runs, and Partick is going to have to find his way through them all, as that is an interesting line there. I think he was going closer to Qatar than he was to stay on the track here at Bahrain. But Partick has lost a lot of time with that mistake there through turn 11 on the exit. And again, it's the curse of the commentator. And I think Partick, well, he's going to finish the lap to get a lap on the board. But I don't, well, he's going to go P17 unless it's an immense final sector here for Partick. Coming across the line now. Where does he go? And the answer is, I was right, P17. So Agonize just starting his lap. Luke goes through turn 1. Furious might be the furthest car up on the road because oh no, is it Langman? Actually, no, it'll be Kieran. So can he do a better job than what? Well, he's not invalidated, so at least he's doing a better job already than what he was last time. We'll stay on board then with Kieran. How is he through the middle sector? The answer is he's marginally down compared to his previous best. I am going to go on board with Langman briefly, just to see how he's doing. And in fact, he's backed off, so he's made a mistake somewhere, and he's not happy with it. But Kieran now coming into the final braking zone through the penultimate and final corner for the AMS man. Where can he go? And the answer is he goes into the pits. That's where he can go, is into the pit lane. I just want to go on board with somebody then, I think, at this rate. Just with what's happening. I think Furious is the next... Oh, come on, give me his middle sector split. You're not going to give it to me, are you? There you go. There we go. So Furious, a 10th and a half up on his best, which was his initial run. At the moment, that will put in P2, but he might want to find a bit more time through this final corner, taking as much curb as he dares on the exit. Where can the TCM man go? Does he go P2? The answer is yes. He goes into P2. We now have one of the Shizou drivers coming across the line. That's Elite Risk. He improves, but stays P8. We now have Beati Lu. Where does he go? He improves, but, well, went quicker but does not improve. He validated somewhere, stays P3. Where can his teammate Kazi go? The answer is he stays in P5 but does improve on his lap time. We now have a Williams coming across the line. That was Patrick, who goes 14th. Is that typical coming across the line? The answer is yes, but he does not improve. Now we have Gabor, who's decided he's not happy with his lap time and much rather go into the wall. Agonize goes P6 there. Dan coming across the line. Dan only P14 for TF10. He has got a lot of work to do. Where's Liam Bowman now? He's coming through the final corner. 8.5 tenths down. Solid there from Liam. We don't need to keep watching you then. Venom now. Over a tenth and a half up on his previous best. Can he snatch P2 away from Furious? The answer is yes. The Shizou driver into P2 with a .557. It's a good recovery there from Shizou. Venom just did only P10 for Team TTM. He's got a lot of work to do himself now in the race. Simbrox 1 does not set a lap time, so he's down in P19. He's good. Well, that's where he will start. He's not going to finish any better or any worse. Partik is not on another attempt. Easton is the last driver, but he's backed off completely. So Liam Bowman, with his banker lap time of the 27.3, was not beaten, and, well, he was just on another level compared to everybody else there. What a fantastic first attempt there by Liam, and he could even beat it himself on his following 2 runs. So that is NVR on pole position with Shizou's Venom starting alongside him. Good last attempt there from Venom. He'll start P2. So we'll get the full rundown now, and hopefully, I don't think we actually had any... I don't think we actually have to restart a lobby for once. Oh my word, that's a first. I'm having a quick look, actually. I didn't even need to do that. Nope. Yep, there we go. Oh, take a clip of that, everybody. Look at that. No grid penalties. We actually don't have to restart a lobby for once. But it is Liam Bowman on pole, followed by Shizou's Venom and Furious in 3rd, and Beati Lu in 4th. So 4 different teams in the top 4. You have Gabor 5th, Kazi in 6th, Agonize 7th for TF10, Typical 8th, Elite Risk in 9th, and Justin in the top 10. You have Langman, Easton, Kieran, Dan, Liam Hardman, Patrick, Nico, Partik, Simbrox 1, and Paulus are your 20 starters. Right, I've not actually given them and told them a time to ready up. There we go. So, giving them a couple of minutes. That's more than enough time. But I get your predictions in the chat. Who do we think is going to win this race? Football terms, play. Oh. Yeah, that's one way to put it, Joseph. Don't know if anyone's seen this. It's just come through on my phone. For all of you Bayern Munich fans, Harry Kane's 3 kids are injured in a car crash in Germany. Oh dear. That's no good. Well, hopefully for Harry Kane's sake that all of his kids and family are okay. That's not something you want to see, but we wish them well. One minute to go until someone decides that we can ready up and get going. As I said, get your predictions in the chat. I mean, I've already got my thoughts on who's going to win this race, and obviously no bias whatsoever, but Venom for the win. Actually, no, last time I said that, it didn't go to plan. But it'd be interesting to see what tyres everyone's going to choose this time. Obviously, we saw last week as to the tyre strategy that some people went for. We could see completely different this week. Obviously, expect the soft or the hard tyres to start with. If someone does start at the mediums, I mean, what are they cooking? Since I'm not expecting it to rain at any given point, or at any point whatsoever. Although I say that, my mum and stepdad are currently out in Doha at the moment, obviously, which is in Qatar, and there is a chance of it going to rain on Monday. It's a shame, though. It's nice and sunny, 32 degrees. But here we go. Out onto the track. 5 lights are on. And it's lights out and away we go. And Liam Bowman gets an initial decent launch there. And obviously you can see he's on those red marked soft tyres. So Liam is on those softer compounded tyres as they head down in towards turn 1. Bit of jostling 3 wide there in the middle of the pack between a TF10 BRT and FRT driver. But it is Liam Bowman who leads the way. But it's all of getting a bit clustered there. One of the BRT drivers completely going over the curb at turn 2 and 3. But it's Gabor now looking on the inside of Venom. And Gabor gets the move done there into turn 4 on the Shazoo driver. Liam Bowman is already over a second clear already. Side by side there for Agonized and Furious. Agonized trying to take the position away there for Furious round the outside. And that is a great move there by the TF10 drivers. Now that's Elite Race trying to go around the outside of Kazi at the hairpin of turn 8. BRT losing positions here at the start. Elite Race is going to have the inside through turn 9 into turn 10. He has the racing line. Oh, bit of a bump, gets a bit of a nudge there from Kazi. But again, everyone's getting clustered all towards the back of the field. But a good start there from MVR. They've got what they need to do. I think we know exactly as to what tyres they are on. And indeed, they are the only 2 drivers on the soft compounded tyre. Everybody else on the hard tyre, apart from Paulos, who's decided he wants to be different. We'll just put it that way. He wants to be different. But it's Liam Bowman who leads the way from his teammate of Gabor. So it's NVR 1-2. Venom down to P3, but he is on those hard tyres. Agonized 4th and Furious in 5th. And Elite Risk making moves up into P6. As BRT have lost out. Down in 7th and 8th. Justin has gained one, I think, if I remember, up to 9th. And it's Typical, who's also had a poor start. I'm going on the wrong bloody thing. I'm just having a quick look at the position change. I mean, yeah, look at that. I mean, Lou and Kazi losing 2 and 3 places respectively, as has Typical and Furious for that matter. Gabor gaining 3, Agonized gaining 3, and Elite Risk gaining 3. So great start there from all of them. As at the background, Liam Hardman and Easton battling, as is Patrick and Nico. Up towards the front, everything has seemed to have settled down, and already there is the gap between the soft and the hard tyre runners, and it's Gabor who's now he's closed in on his teammates and has pulled away from Shazoo Venom. So we're going to have two different trains here. We're going to have the soft tyre train, which is going to be the NVR train, followed by the hard tyre train. That's an interesting comment there, Tom. I highly doubt it. As Liam Hardman has made a big mistake towards the back there. No idea what he's just done. I wasn't really looking. But what it has done is he's dropped him down into the back of the field. And TIR currently occupying P18 and P20 now. As a result, Kazi actually was overtaken there by Justin. I missed that as well. But he's BRT now. That's Kazi now losing yet another position. And BRT seem to be struggling at this moment. Obviously, it is early days. We're only going to start lap 3. Justin be clean impossible challenge. I'm guessing there was a bit of nudging involved. Was the Kiwi? Was there a bit of a push to shove? Or a push to pass, I should say? Very funny, Joseph. Very funny. Always said you were funny. As TF10 now trying to get a move done on AMS Kieran. Coming through turn 1 and turn 2. DRS will now be activated for the TF10 man. TF10 driver, because obviously he doesn't know the difference between the letter and a number. But down there makes a big mistake, goes completely wide at turn 4. And Langman says, thank you very much, I'll have some of that. And he takes him and takes P12. Oh, so he did hit him wide. Right, so, well, I'm going to hazard a guess that you're probably going to take that in, but that's obviously for you to decide. As Fuse there is getting closer to the back of Agonize, who in turn is getting close to the back of Venom. Bowman actually is out and pulled away from Gabor, and Gabor did not have DRS there going down the back straight, as Furious gets within a quarter of a second of Agonize. getting very close to the back of the Alfa Romeo there, coming through up the hill now. Right on board with the TTM driver. I mean, these guys are going to have to work together. They can't do a repeat of what happened last week and just let the front guys get away and pull away. I mean, that gap is already 2.7 seconds. They have to work together if they want any chance. Furious now going to burn the battery. Yeah, I think he wants to get a move done here on Agonize. I think he's got the extra pace. Agonize is responding himself with a bit of battery deployment. And are we going to be 3 wide here into turn 1? The answer is not quite. Furious does back out of it, but Agonize does overtake Venom, but it goes very deep there in turn 1. And, well, I think Venoms could just easily take the position back if he wants to, but he has no interest whatsoever. As behind them, Elite Risk and BRT Lou side by side into turn 4. Lou getting squeezed up onto the curb as close as Elite Risk can dare so he doesn't hit his sidepod. Holds the position for now, but it's getting a bit dicey, and look at that. That gap is now up to 3.5 seconds. And yeah, exactly my point, Kiwi. I was just going to say, they don't realise that this race isn't won on lap 4, but at this rate, it pretty much is one for NVR, because that gap is already very substantial. I mean, I wouldn't exactly say it was classic Venom term. I think it was more a case of, you know, Furious obviously did pressure Agonized into making the move, which he did do, but Agonized completely just outbroke himself into turn 1, and the rest is history. As they say, as that gap is now up to 4 seconds, as Justin now getting close to the second BRT driver of BRT Lou there. Only a 10th behind him. He's all over the gearbox of that Aston Martin. Obviously, as those who they haven't seen already, Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso has signed. Oh my word, Kazi there. That was interesting. But yeah, Fernando Alonso has extended his contract to the end of 2026 as back up to this final podium paying position, and Venom gets the move done there on Agonized, obviously switching with the DRS here. Furious was looking for a move there on Agonized around the outside of turn 1, but just didn't have the grip or the traction to get past the TF10 man, and it is Venom who once again leads this DRS train that goes from 3rd all the way down to P20. Gabon now only half a second off his teammate, but obviously they are just going to work together and just drag each other along throughout this race. We'll go a little bit further back, and Langman now getting quite close to the back of Kieran there. Maybe want to get moved up to P11. Kieran in a bit of an FRT sandwich with Typical ahead of him and Langman behind him. Dan still has not made any extra, well, since he made the mistake, has not made any more moves, as that is Elite Risk deciding that he doesn't want to get in the slipstream of the cars in front of him, try and get that. I'm guessing his engine is overheating and he needs to get it cooled down a bit, as once again Justin getting close to the back of Luke, but everyone here is 3/10 behind one another until you get back to Kazi. So what if, well, there could be a bit of a punt to pass, maybe NASCAR style, who knows. But Justin, once again, getting very close to the back of Lou there as they come through the final corner. And he is briefly on the battery there, was Justin, thinking about getting a move done. Right into the slipstream there of BRT Lou. Does he go and send it down the inside as Agonize gets ahead of Venom? The answer is he does not. Not interested in the slightest as everyone bunches up together. Oh, well, it's a big mistake there from Lou, though. Don't know what happened. He's gone wide through turn 1 somehow with a bad line through turn 2. And Justin just says, thank you very much. And Justin now is ahead of both BRT drivers into P7, and BRT's race at the moment is just going from bad to worse. Furious now coming in through turn 8, getting close there to the rear of Shazoo Venom. He has Elite Risk behind him, so he himself is in a bit of a Shazoo sandwich, as that gap between P2 and P3 has just about stabilised at about 4.3, 4.4 seconds. So it's at this point maybe the hard tyres are starting to come into their window. They're starting to get, well, not quicker than the soft tyre runners, but they're at least matching them on this lap currently. But they're going to have to do a lot more and start to get quicker than the top two if they want to close in that gap. Oh, that explains it then. Well, oh, as Lou this time having a bit of a a wobble there on the exit as Dan in the background deciding that he doesn't want to stay on the track, and also clearly finds that going to Qatar is the better solution. But I've just noticed here, Dan's actually lost another place, and he's actually now behind Simbarox 1. And Simbarox 1 started in P19, so he's gained 6 places so far in this race. As Venom was not going for the move there and Agonize, and Furious might actually take a look here down the inside in towards turn 1. Venom just about holds onto it in the end, but Furious is getting impatient. He wants to get a move on. He wants to try and lead this train. He thinks he's got the pace. On the inside into turn 4, Venom trying to hang it around the outside. But Furious with the better grip, with the better speed, and the better line, essentially, and he takes P4 away from Venom, who probably going to be a bit annoyed with himself there. The fact that he's just let him just get ahead of him that easily. As we have a yellow flag at the back, and that is Paulos, who has gone completely off the track. Either he's been hit or he's had a moment on the curb, but that is Paulos' strategy. And his race pretty much now all done with. Who are Ferrari? Indeed, yes, who are Ferrari at the moment? Well, the answer is TIR, if you want to mean it that way. As Liam Bowman now actually has broken DRS on his teammate, but Gabbar... Oh, as Easton has had a crash, and we have a virtual safety car. I've completely missed, obviously. I've gone on board with Palace, and I'm going to guess he's just completely in the wall. Well, his car's gone now. The answer is he's completely in the wall. And MVR, as predicted, make a pit stop. Does anybody else? It's going to be interesting to see what people decide to do. Some of the hard tyre runners are deciding to pit. And, well, in fact, I say some of the hard tyre runners, but the answer is it's TF10. So we haven't got a full safe car. It is only a VSC. We'll see how long this stays out for. But 6 drivers have decided to make a pit stop. MVR will go onto the hard tyres to the end of the race. 22 racing laps on those tyres. They will make it. Bit of a cheap free pit stop. It's a different strategy for them. We'll have to see what they can do. It's completely thrown this race not wide open, but it'll be interesting to see. Some people obviously, TF10 have gone for the mediums. I'm not too sure about that one. I don't see them lasting, but hey, they have to try something. As their DRS is now back enabled, we're back under green flag conditions, and it is now Furious who will lead this race. Not too sure about the little wiggle there, but it's Furious who leads from Venom, from Elite Risk, and Justin. From then, BRT Lou now up into P5, Kazi in 6th, with Typical 7th and Langman in 8th. 4 top teams in the top 8 now. And well, it's a case of, as their Furious having a big wiggle there. Bit of a wobble through the right-hander. He loses the position to Venom. I'm not too sure what happened there, but we're now 2 by 2 with TTM and Team Shazoo here into the final corner. Furious is still struggling. I'm not too sure what's happening here, but it's Venom who now leads this race. And Elite Risk is now going to have to try and hold on to Justin. Furious there now going to the inside of Venom. Is we going to have 3 wide here to turn 1? The answer is no, but it is 2 by 2. So Furious now retakes that first place that he had. Venom holds P2. Elite Risk still P3 and Justin P4. So it is as you were. But that all started from a mistake there from Furious. With BRT and FRT in behind, you have Kieran now in 9th and Simbarox 1 rounding out the top 10. So the top 12 all stayed out. They are all still on their hard tyres. Liam Bowman is the first driver to appear, and he's less than 7 seconds pretty much off the back of this train. As Justin there going for a cheeky move down the inside there of Elite Risk, trying to catch him off guard there, but Elite Risk there has the inside line through turns 9 and 10, but it looks like once again, as that was Kazi going completely off track, and I think he just did that to not hit his teammate. I can't frick it. I can't speak! As Typical gets ahead of him from that mistake. I think I need a drink. I think that's what I need. Yes, Kiwi, I think I'm having to agree with you here that they are a bit special at the moment with everything that's going on. And we're only on lap 9. You know, still got a long way to go yet. Tell you what wouldn't be good at this point is a safety car for NVR. But anyway, no moves happening here at the front. Everyone is now going to behave themselves, or you think they're going to behave. Oh, no, there's a bit of death involved there. An Elite Riss, I don't know if he was hit there by Justin going through turn 1, but Elite Riss has now dropped down to P7. As Lou now up ahead trying to get a move done on Justin. Justin struggling this race. Lou almost getting a move done there through the start of the middle sector. Is he going to send it into turn 8? The answer is no. They need to try and close back in. But it looked to me like Justin once again has hit another driver. It was BRT earlier. This time he's hit Elite Riss. And I wouldn't be surprised if there is a bit of front wing damage on that McLaren. Just Joseph, they're confirming there for me that he's being reported to the authorities. The thing is, though, with what the police are like, yeah. Kiwi just confirming as well that he's on Justin's stream and that he was not lag. You can't blame it on lag every time. Justin clearly just, well, either outbraking himself or just came off the brake altogether to try and close in a bit too much, and there we go. But what it has done is Elite Riss has now dropped from P3 down to P7, and he's now behind Kazi as BRT Lou now looking for a move there on the inside of Justin, decides to tuck back in behind him into turn 1. As we now start lap 11, and Liam is now 3 seconds off of this this train, and I think if I was Liam, I would just stick behind them all up until they pretty much peak and just save his battery and then use it for later in the race. Let's go a little bit further behind, and Gabor, obviously, who lost out because he had to double stack behind his teammate, is now over 5 seconds behind him, but is a second behind Agonized. So maybe if he can use Agonize, who's on the quicker tyres for the time being, to try and stick in his DRS, he might be able to drag himself along. But at the moment, he's actually getting dropped. Well, he's not getting dropped now. He's actually got the DRS on the back of the tier. Well, I thought he did. I thought he was in the detection point, but the answer is he wasn't. I'm talking out my ass again. Liam Bowman now. Let me look at that. He's got near enough. So there's me saying, he can save his battery, but he's pretty much got a full battery, so he doesn't have to save anything. That just shows the pace that Liam has got, and he's now pretty much, well, he's going to have DRS at some point on the next lap. So Liam there just showing this to, you know, why he's up there, and he is one of the best. Back towards the front. The gaps have opened up a little bit, apart from between the top two. Does Venom take the lead of the race? The answer is he is not interested in the slightest. I'm just saying, Nate, I thought he might have used maybe a little bit just to close in. I didn't know if he had or not. Elite battery, please. Do I really want to show my own teams? I mean, you know, I might have some bias here, although I am on board with Typical. Obviously, I am just showing his. I can show you Carsies. There you go. Is that? Oh, is he? I don't know if he's actually streaming or anything, but there you go. He had a quick flash. Of course, yeah, exactly. Smeg's right. So she's a commentator. But at the end of the day, you saw it very briefly. As Liam Bowman there gets the move done on Nico, who just looked like he just moved out the way, waved a white flag and let him go. And Liam now wanting to try and get a move done on Patrick, got the first of the FGE drivers. He's look down the inside as we start the final sector. Patrick does leave in the space of the inside line. I didn't know if there was a bit of contact there, if just Patrick had a little bit of a wobble, but that's Liam now up into P11. But he's outside of the DRS on Simba Rux 1, and I don't think he's going to get it. The answer is he didn't get it. He didn't get it, as Patrick has decided to go for a very early pit stop at the end of lap 12 onto the mediums and go to the end. That is an interesting call. I don't see why Liam would pit again, because he would have just gone, oh, it's Kazi. Out of nowhere, picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now, I did see him go wide earlier on, and I wonder he'll have picked up a warning for that and just tried to obviously avoid hitting the back of his own teammate. But that's not a good situation here for BRT, and Kazi having a 3-second time penalty, and with this top 11 all being in one train, obviously you may as well minus Liam Bowman. So if you're this top 10 who are all on the same strategy, he's going to drop several places. That's a straight. Okay. Okay, Kiwi. So I'm going to presume then that he can get it removed. As Liam Bowman there getting the move done on Simbrooks 1. So he's now back into the top 10. Now on the back of Kieran. Kieran there not giving him an inch. He looked like he didn't want to lose that position. Does Liam send it down the inside? The answer is no. Stays behind him. But he now goes down the inside, actually goes alongside him and actually gets ahead of him before we come into the final corner. And that is Liam now up into P9. Nobody interested in the slightest until Kieran does that into reacting to Patrick's early pit stop onto the medium tyres, and Kieran is the only one to follow. So the top 8 and 10th and 11th all stay out and will go at least an extra lap. Liam's next target is FRT's Langman for P8. Doesn't look like he's close enough at the moment to get a move done. He might have a look maybe to turn 8 if he fancies it down the inside. Go on board with the AlphaTauri of Liam as either had a big wobble or that's lag on my side as we come through turn 6 and 7 down the hill into turn 8. Is he close enough to get a move done? The answer is no. Stays behind him, but obviously he will have the DRS on the back straight. Furious still leads this race, but it's a case of when are these teams all going to pit. You've got a lot of teams here with 2 drivers in this train, so surely one of them is going to have to pit on this lap. In through turn 11, and this seems to have been Liam's favourite overtaking place at the moment as we come up the hill to start sector 3. Does he go to the inside line of Langman? The answer is yes, he does. Langman trying to hang it around the outside, but the grip difference there between the 2 drivers, 7-lap fresher tyres, Liam into P8, and now it's going to close down on Elite Race. But we'll go on board with some of the drivers towards the front. Is anybody going to pit? The answer is no. Only Langman and Nico. So none of the top 7 pit. They're going to go another lap. Interesting. Clearly they all want the freshest medium tyres to the end of the race, as Liam now all over the back of Elite Race, who in turn is all over the back of Kazi. So Liam's going to have to be a little bit careful here as we come through the middle sector here on lap 15, halfway through this race now. It seems like an eternity, but there we go. Liam, half sending it down the inside, but just about gets his nose in, but makes a bit of contact there with Elite Race side pod. Wasn't really a full send there by Liam. And, well, obviously, no damage done at least. He's still getting the right direction. But if you have a look at there, Gabor is now closing in quite quickly, and he is dragging in Agonized for the ride. So those 2 less than 3 seconds off this train. They might close in by the time they all pit, but they probably won't. We'll go back up towards the front few drivers. Now, does anybody pit this time? No TTM driver pits, but Lou is in. Elite Riss is in. And Typical is in. So there we go. 3 out of the 4 teams in that front train. And Simbrooks 1. All pitting finally onto the medium tyres. So one of the TTM drivers is going to have to go longer as Paulos picks up a 3-second time penalty. So whether it's going to be Furious or Justin, one of them is going to lose out big style. And personally, I think that's going to compromise their race. Harry, give us an insight on agonised tyres. How are they looking? Do you think they're going to last until the end of the race? Because this is the thing now, obviously, now, you know, BRT Lou is the lead driver of the train that has made a pit stop. 8 lap fresher tyres to agonised, but that gap is about, well, it's substantial. It's about, what, 14 seconds? He's going to have to close a second a lap on agonised if he wants any chance of maybe getting a podium. As we go back towards the top 5, so Liam is now 4.5 seconds clear of his teammate Gabo. So Liam really can just pretty much cruise this to the end. I would say that, and I think they've pretty much got this win in the bag. And there we go. So the answer is, it is Furious who stays out. He's having to go the extra lap as the other 3 drivers all make their pit stop. That is Venom, Justin, and Kazi. So Furious going an extra lap. He will have the freshest tyres out of everybody, but he will have a lot of work to do, and he will likely be at the back of the train by the time they all pit. So Venom, the first of the drivers to make their pit stop of this little train. Where is he going to come out in regards to what will be BRT Lou, who is leading this new train here, and the Venom there coming out of the pits now. He's alongside. Oh my God! I thought we were going to have a Maldonado and a dive into turn 1 there and take it. I can't remember what the Sauber driver was back then. He took. I completely forgot now. But I think he may have hit a little bit of contact there with BRT Lou, and it's Langman now up the inside of turn 4. Venom now trying to get him moved on as there's a yellow flag in the back, and that's Elite Riss who's been sent round. Elite Riss has gone round again. So this has gone bad to worse for Elite Riss as Venom now down the inside of turn 8 on BRT Lou. Lou just about hangs it round on the outside line with the better traction, but it is all kicking off. Unfortunate there for Elite Riss, obviously not sure what happened. Obviously, definitely some contact involved, but not too sure who it was with. But that is Elite Riss race pretty much done with. He's now 11 seconds behind the train to the back of F1 Nico, as Furious now dives into the pits to make his pit stop. I'm going to presume he's going to go onto the medium tyres. I don't see him going onto the softs, and indeed it is the medium tyres, as this is now getting very dicey in this train. Langman from Lou, from Venom. Lou on the overtake, pulls out with the DRS. Venom going in the middle between the two of them. Is he wanting to get the move done on BRT Lou? The answer is no. They're looking behind. Typical now is going to have to be forced into him because of Justin trying to get a move done on his teammate, but Typical has no battery whatsoever. Justin trying to get a move done right there on turn 3. He's got the outside line, he's got the actual slipstream from Typical's teammate, and Justin now is going to try and make a double move here on FRT down the inside into turn 4 on Langman. Can he get the move done there on the battery again through 5 into 6 and 7? Please don't make contact through here. I was half expecting Langman to be sent into the shadow realm. They're still side by side, but what this is just costing them, and they have lost the DRS to Lou and Venom. Justin gets the move done eventually, but at what cost? And the answer is that is the cost. He's not got the DRS. He's going to have to burn the battery to close in, and Lou and Venom can just work together now to close in on those in front. I think they realise, Joe, that nobody is going to catch the top 2. Oh, in fact, the top 3, realistically. I mean, depending on what agonised tyres do in these last 10, 11 laps is one thing. But I think that I don't see them helping each other out. But anyway, further up the field, Shazoo Venom with the DRS with an easy move there. That's the easiest move I think I've seen so far of the day, near enough. Getting ahead of BRT Lou to now lead this train. It's in behind. Typical and Kazi getting a bit dicey. Kazi with the 1 lap fresher tyres, and no doubt with more battery. Typical harvesting there. He's got nothing there to defend with, and look who's now joined in on the freshest tyres. It is TTM Furious on the back of this train. As Elite, I noticed actually Elite Risk is pit again onto another set of mediums. I missed that, so I'm presuming he picked up some damage. As Furious there trying to get to Mug Kazi there down the inside of turn 8, trying to catch him off guard. Kazi though has the inside line through turn 9 and 10, and Furious has to stay behind him for now. But Venom has now closed onto the back of Partek, so he's already now caught up. The first of the drivers who made that pit stop under the VSC, as Furious now and Kazi battling side by side into turn 11, and Furious has he got the move done? Kazi is still there. He's trying to hang it around the outside. Is he going to go for a switchback move? The answer is no. He knows that he can't be battling that much if they want to stay in this trade, but Furious gets the move done there on Kazi, and his next victim, his next target is Typical. Oh. So whatever happened with Lee, was it his own fault then? Ah. Well, there's one less driver now for this trade to try and overtake, because Liam Hardman has decided he's not getting these mediums to last, and he's gone onto a set of soft tyres. Because, you know, why the hell not? As Lou there on the inside of Partek, and Partek is now just going to be a roadblocker for this trade, as Furious now gets a move done there on Typical, and that is Furious now back into the top 10. Justin now, as Elite Risk has picked up a time penalty. That just pretty much sums up his race. And yeah, Partek is now pretty much a roadblock. Langmang now is going to have to try and get a move done ASAP so he doesn't lose out on the time in front of him to try and stick with the likes of Venom, Lou and Justin. Partek does have the DRS, but Langman burning the battery, goes to the inside line as they head into turn 11, and he gets the move done before the corner so he can get back onto the racing line. Furious now will be all over the house driver. Just look at the grip difference there. That is, you know, there's 10 lap fresher tyres, even compared to Langman's 7 lap fresher tyres. It is just a big, big difference. And there we go, there's Typical now onto down the inside line, getting the move done. Venom has now closed up to the back of Dan. So he's closed up to the first of the TF10 drivers, and Dan has no ERS whatsoever. But Venom, I think he knows he's going to have to get a move done as soon as possible. He can't stay behind the TF10 man. Dan will defend as much as he can for his teammates' benefit, who's currently in a podium-paying position. But here comes the Shizou driver now on the battery, on the DRS. Dan defends to the inside line very briefly, but it does nothing. And in the end, it's an easy move there for Venom down the inside turn 4. Dan looking for a switchback, though, as we have a yellow flag. And that is, I think, Liam, or well, it's either Liam or Palos who's gone for a spin. Oh, no! Venom and Dan coming to blows through turns 6 and 7. Well, answers on a postcard, please. I am not commenting on that one. No bias here whatsoever, obviously. Dan's fault. Anyway, I don't know why Dan was still maybe sticking his nose in. He's got, you know, Venom's got the much fresher tyres. It was just inevitable. Why, you know, he should have just let him go and just try his best to, well, I would say stick with him. Obviously, his Partek has just proved, and he's now out of the DRS of all this lot, you know, that those who made that pit stop onto the mediums, it's just not worked for them. But 7.3 seconds now, they've got to close in onto the back of Agonized, who is still in the DRS of Gabor with 7 laps to go. Lou now takes P4 with the DRS there, easy move there for himself. But this train has now split up. You have a 4-car train here with Lou, Venom, Justin, as Venom now going to the inside there of Lou, wants to retake that 4th place. Interesting one that is, but you've got Furious and Justin now on the back of them, but Kazi has dropped out of the DRS, not too sure as to what exactly that is, but this is now split up. Dan now picking up his own time penalty, so that is Dan's race now pretty much over and done with. Agonize has 20% battery. Well, there we go, there's the answer. Be interesting to see. Oh, as Kieran there picking up a time penalty of his own there. Well, at the moment he's only going to lose one place, which is to his own teammate. But that's not what the doctor ordered. As Justin there, Lou making a mistake there through the start of Sector 3. Justin getting very close to the back of him. But they have closed in a good 6 or 7 tenths, 8 tenths now on those in front. But it's not enough to close in and to potentially get involved for a podium battle. As Justin looked like he wanted to go for a move there on BRT Lou, but in the end, no real point. You may as well stay in this train and fight it out later on. Just try and close in on the back of Agonize, whose tyres will surely just drop off the cliff. As typical, a bit of a team orders there maybe from FRT. Typical getting ahead of his teammate Langman as he tries and stick with Kazi, but they're about to drop out of the DRS. But, Harv, at the moment, even though it's P9 and P10, it's still a better result at the moment here for you. Back into this 4-car train. TTM at the back of this train. Furious. Is there going to be some team orders here? Do they let Furious go with the fresher tyres? Tez, thoughts? We shall soon see, but, well, is that team orders? Have I now predicted it? The answer is I have predicted it, and Justin does indeed let Furious go. Probably the right thing to do. Furious with his fresher tyres and slightly better battery. As Lou now getting close to the back of onto the back of Venom, but Lou not interested in the slightest to make a move. Venom outbraking himself slightly. They're going into turn 1. That gap now down to 6 seconds between Agonize and Venom, but that gap is not coming down quick enough. Agonize hanging on, and at the moment, TF10's strategy, at least with one of their drivers, is working out and is paying off dividends. Yeah, I'm actually a bit surprised that they're not closing in as quickly as they are doing. It's Furious there, good, trying to catch Lou off guard, trying to send it down the inside into the hairpin of turn 8. Lou will have the inside line into turns 9 and 10. Furious is going to try and break lane, sending it around the outside. Furious, he hasn't, he has! What a move! Great move there from Furious, and Justin now round the outside of turn 11. The TTM drivers have just mugged BRT Lou there for, they've sold him for chips. And well, if they've just done that with Lou, what are they going to do to Venom? Powell's there picking up a 3-second time penalty, but at the moment, he's down in 18th place. He's actually not going to lose anything with a penalty of his own. Does Lou respond here? Does he go and try and take at least one of these positions back? Going down the main straight, 5 laps to go. The gap is still 5.9 seconds. But now, if you look, Agonized is out of the DRS of Gabor and has no battery. Now is the time to close in. As Furious there, with a bit of DRS, makes the move there on Venom. And this is the right thing. Furious needs to lead this train as Partick now picks up a time penalty. Down in 15th place, and, well, it's only going to lose 1 place at the moment unless Liam closes in. But, yeah, so what can Furious do? Can he close in? Can he catch over 5 seconds onto Agonize, who's got nothing? He has no battery to help him. He can't use it. He's just going to have to save it. I think he's trying to burn it to try and close back in on Gabor to get the DRS. He has a bit of a wobble there through turn 11. He's back on the battery again, but look at it. He's just not doing anything whatsoever. And I think Agonize's brave efforts are finally going to come a cropper, and Furious is just going to close that gap. I'd love to know what Agonize's tyre wear is. Justin there getting very close to the back of Venom, coming down the main straight. Is he going to make a move there on the Shizou driver? The answer is Venom is going to make a move on the inside of Furious in the inside down into turn 1. I think he was kind of forced into that ever so slightly there by Justin. I mean, if these guys were smart, they would work together so they're not battling. I mean, look at this. They're battling now. And they're not gaining. I don't see the point. They're not gaining anything. I don't know. I mean, I think Venom was a bit worried that Justin would go down the inside, and I understand that. But surely Justin should just back off a little bit, because then it's putting his teammate under pressure. Oh, Justin there sliding it through. Although in saying that gap is now down to 4.5 seconds. Agonizer's just lost out big style through the first half of this lap. Oh, we got a yellow flag there, and well, that's Paulos who's gone for a spin through turn 2. Obviously just got onto the loud pedal maybe a bit too much. Well, 3 laps to go here, and it is still Liam Bowman who has led, well, the majority and been the net leader for all of this race. Gabor 4.5 seconds behind his teammate, but it is Agonize who's starting to struggle. That gap now down to 4.1 seconds. Venom actually shutting the DRS. He's got no intention of wanting to make a move on Furious. They know that there is a bit of an opportunity now to close in on the TF10 driver, but they have to work together. BXO, I don't see that happening. There isn't going to be a bloody rerun. Don't be silly. Nath, did you purposely cause the VSC? There's your accusation. Did you tell them to do that? I have no idea, Chris, where TTM finished last week, but I think they are doing better than what they did. They paid you 3. That's so what? He's paid you about what? 75? I don't know how much of a Freddo now. So what's that? Is that a quid? Gap now down to 3 seconds between Furious and Agonized. I think it's a little bit too little too late. Paulos once again going for a spin, this time on the exit of 4. He thinks he's Sebastian Vettel, but he just isn't. Lou now started to drop out a little bit of these 3 in front of him as Justin tried to get a move done around the outside there of Venom. Completely, well, not completely, but outbreaks him slightly. He's trying to stick his nose in through turn 2. And Justin, I don't know what you're doing there, mate. There was not a move on there at all. And now he's going to set it down the inside of turn 4, completely forcing Venom out wide. Please don't come. Please don't make contact through here. I don't know what Justin is thinking. I really don't know. I mean, I'm all for racing, but I mean, why send it in places where there's just nothing there? There's no space there at turn 2, and all he did was just shove Venom off the track. But what it has done is Furious is now pulled away a bit, and I'm going to guess he's not going to be under any threat whatsoever now from Venom, who's going to have to burn his ERS if he's going to close in a little bit, which he has done slightly. Gap now 1.7 between Furious and Agonize. It could still be on. There is a small chance. There is a very small chance. It depends on what Agonize's tyres are like, but as we are on now the final lap of this race, Agonize has actually saved a bit of battery somehow. Interesting. But Liam Bowman has just been on has been very comfortable out in front. Justin and Lou there getting very close. Justin in the end trying to send it down the inside once again of Shizou Venom. Nothing happening there. Kazi now down to P10. He's behind the FRT drivers who have at least got into P8 and P9, so they have recovered somewhat. But going back up to this this trade, look at this. Agonize, he's had a poor sector 1, and Furious is there. This is on. He's gonna try and do his best. He was Agonize to hold on to this P3, but those tyres are gonna be screaming. They are gonna be in so much pain. Furious now. Can he get the move done down the DRS straight? Battery deployed, DRS open. Agonize does have a little bit to defend, as there's an incident at the back, and that is Dan, whose race is just, well, that's his race pretty much summed up. As we climb up the hill now, Agonize, he's going to have to defend to the inside. Oh, Furious! Just touches the back of the Alfa Romeo there. Agonize, his rear tyres are completely gone. Lou picks up a time penalty. Out in front, it's Liam Bowman who's going to win this race, but it is still on for this podium position. Furious going to go around the outside. Agonize is going to shove him off wide. Here comes Venom. It's going to be a sprint to the finish. Who's going to be on the podium? It's Agonize. $22,000 he holds on by to Venom and then Furious. That was a mental finish. I think a bit aggressive from Agonize, but obviously you can't blame him. He had to do something, and fair play to get those mediums to last 22 laps. I'll give him that. That was a really, really good effort. But it is just a repeat of last week, and it is NVR with a 1-2. Liam ahead of Gabor this time. And, well, the VSC, they had to do a different strategy, but it still worked out for them. The gap was maybe a bit bigger, but the result is still the same. Not so sure why Lou picked up a penalty. He hasn't lost a position or anything, but just a bit of a nuisance more than anything, I'm guessing, Harry. As we eventually wait for Paulos to finally finish. And there it is. So, there was Bahrain 2.0. And I guess, yeah, it's sort of same old, or at least it's the same result. But provisionally, it is Liam Bowman, the Flying Scotsman, who takes victory once again. And, well, I don't want to see that flag again. It's just not nice, is it? Rigged VSC. Maybe it was. I said to Nath maybe it was. Maybe he told them to cause it. Who knows? But it is NVR with a 1-2, and it is Liam Bowman ahead of NVR Gabor. And this time it is Agonize for TF10, who just holds on for the third place in the final podium position, with Venom in P4. TTM finishing in 5th and 6th with Furious and Justin. They'll be disappointed. There was a good chance there of podium for Furious, but Agonize did his best and just about held on. Lou is P7, FRT P8 and 9 with Langman and Typical, and Kazi rounding out the top 10. Nico is 11th with Sibarox 1 in 12th, Patrick is 13th, and Kieran is your final points finisher in P14. Then you then have Liam Hardman, Partick, Dan, Elite Risk, Powers and Easton, who's your only non-finisher finishing off the field. So that has been AEC Bahrain 2.0. We will be back again next week. I can't remember what track that it is. I am going to try and find the calendar. There it is. The answer is we are going to Mexico. So join us again next week, everybody. Hope to see you there. Thank you very much.